Good morning, Boker Tov. This week's Torah portion, Parshas Vayera, is the story of Abraham sitting by the tent door looking for guests, when suddenly three individuals dressed and appearing as Arabs begin to approach him. And he runs towards them to invite them into his home, to show them hospitality. And then we discovered that these were no three ordinary people. They were actually angels that God sent, because he saw that despite having just undergone the surgery of circumcision, instead of resting, he was looking for guests to be able to entertain, to feed, and to care for. And our rabbis tell us a beautiful statement, that b'derech she'adam rotze leilech molichin oso. In the direction, in the path that a person desires to go, God leads him. And since Abraham showed a desire to host guests, even though he had just undergone a difficult surgery, God assisted him in accomplishing his goal. But on this very statement, the commentaries ask, it should have said, in the direction that a person wants to go, God Almighty leads him. What does it mean, they lead him? Who is the they in the plural? The rabbis give a beautiful interpretation. They say that God sends angels to assist a person in achieving their goals, their desired destination. Molichin, plural. The angels guide and direct the person on their path. And the word molichin is like the word malach, angels that God sends us. And so too in each and every one of our lives. Not only Abraham, 3,700 years ago, was sent angels to bless him, to have a child, to heal him, but there are angels in all of our lives. I'll never forget, once there was an individual in our synagogue who was in a terrible car accident, and he, thank God, walked away unscathed. And he came to me that week and said, Rabbi, I want to give a big kiddush to thank God. And it was wonderful. He hosted this kiddush, and then he got up at the kiddush to speak, as is the custom at those who sponsor kiddushes at the synagogue speak. And he said, I'm dedicating this kiddush in honor of my guardian angel that was watching over me. God has many angels that he sends to guard, to protect, to assist us. All we have to do is point to the direction that we want to go. We have to show the ambition, the courage, the desire to do something positive, and God will send his angels to assist us. And sometimes those angels could be human beings, other people that God sends into our lives. This past week, Bernie Marcus, the founder of Home Depot, passed away. He was 95 years old. He was a remarkable individual, born before the Great Depression. And sadly, he was born into a home of abject poverty. And he worked very hard and went to Rutgers University and did all the prerequisite courses to go into medical school. And he was accepted into Harvard, but then, because of anti-Semitism and quotas, he was not allowed to go. And so he decided to become a pharmacist. And then he was unhappy as being a pharmacist, so he went to work for a company called Handy Dan Home Improvement. And in 1978, he was fired. He didn't know what to do. All his ambitions were crushed. But then he had this idea to start a company called Home Depot. And he was already 50 years old. And so he went to one bank and another bank and a third bank, and all the banks turned him down. And finally he had a friend by the name of Rip Fleming, who worked for a bank, and he went to him and he pleaded with him. He said, if I don't get this loan, I cannot start my business. You're my last hope, my last chance. Please help me. And Rip said, I'll do my best. And sure enough, he secured a loan for him. And a year later, 1979, he opened Home Depot. He became a billionaire, one of the greatest philanthropists for the Jewish people and beyond. But when the banker Rip Fleming retired, Bernie Marcus was the master of ceremonies at his friend Rip Fleming's retirement party. And the CEO of the bank got up and he said, I want to tell you something, Mr. Bernie Marcus. When Rip Fleming came to us for the loan, we looked at this dream. It looked like, a fantasy. Home Depot. And so we turned down the loan. And Rip Fleming, your friend, kept on begging us to give the loan, and we kept on saying no. And finally, Rip Fleming came into my office, CEO of the bank, and said, if you don't give Bernie Marcus the loan, I am quitting. And he said, we really did not want to give you the loan, but we didn't want Rip Fleming to quit on us because he was such a valuable person in our company. And so we gave you the loan only because we wanted to keep Rip Fleming, your friend, as an employee. But we wrote it off as a bad debt we never expected to get paid back. Bernie Marcus had never heard that story. Rip Fleming never shared with him what he did to secure the loan for him. But he then realized that all of his success and all of his blessings didn't just come through his own hard work, but there were angels in his life that helped him achieve it. Let us look around and recognize the many angels that we see and the angels we cannot see. And as long as we move in the right direction, God will send his angels just like he sent them to Abraham to give us all the blessings of our lives. Have a wonderful day.